This is She Goes Beyond, and I'm your host, Victoria Fregis. Here we're dedicated to changing the status quo and building a powerful community of women who can do it all. Who says you only have to be one thing? So grab your rod or your bow and tune in to the stories of women who love the same things that you do. You never know, you might just meet your next best friend. I genuinely cannot believe I get to introduce today's guest. This woman is an absolute force of nature. She's an elite athlete, a trailblazer in the hunting world, and quite literally the only woman on the planet to bow hunt a hippo and get it all on film. Like, are you kidding me? That alone should tell you how next level she really is. But Sarah Bowmar is so much more than just her wild accomplishments. She's a boss babe, a fitness icon, a total girl's girl, and someone who walks the walk when it comes to living boldly, unapologetically, and intentionally. She's built a life that blends power and purpose, and she's not afraid to get real about the highs and the hard stuff. We go deep in this episode into the world of hunting, entrepreneurship, the discipline of elite fitness, and what it really means to show up for yourself every single day. But the part that hit me the hardest, her passion for hormone health and HRT. It's something so many women are silently struggling with, and Sarah brings it front and center with honesty and fire. Oh, and did I mention we have a little surprise for you toward the end that might just get you pumped for what the Bowmars have coming in 2025. Please welcome Sarah Bowmar. Cool. Hi, how are you?
Doing well. How are you?
Good. Nice to meet you.
You too.
We can just do some introductions before we actually start. But I'm Victoria Fregis. I live in Minnesota. I started this podcast kind of like I told you in the email in January. And honestly, I have no girlfriends who are involved in the outdoors. I have plenty of girlfriends, but no one who I can like commiserate with in regards to like hunting and fishing and things like that.
Sure.
My husband started a YouTube channel and he does a lot of musky fishing. And he started that, a few years ago, but he has grown such a community around that and such good friends. And I just kind of got jealous and I'm like, I want something for myself. I love that he does that. I love that he has all these people. I'm like, but I need people. And so I'm like, I'm going to start a podcast, get girls on here and like get to know everyone. And I don't know, just I think it's fun. Instagram's great, but you can't learn everything about someone. And it's just kind of nice to have like these one-on-one conversations that like, I'm just a girl who's followed you forever. I'm able to just ask you questions that maybe someone else hasn't. And it doesn't get lost in like, I know you do those question boxes and I'm sure you get so many questions and that's so hard to answer all of them. But I just think that I thought it would be such a good idea and it's turned out to be so awesome. So I appreciate
That's amazing. And podcasting is so unique because like if someone actually sits down to like listen to a podcast, they're in that state of mind where they're like, I'm committing myself to like bare minimum 45 minutes here. And I'm very interested in at least the host and the guest and the topic. And where I feel like Instagram is so like swipe, swipe, swipe. Like if you're not catching someone like immediately within like half a second, why even post? So it's too like that very, very, very quick microwave content versus like very long form content. And I, like you said, like Josh did one podcast like last year and it ended up being 5 hours. And and now there's such thing as like a short version, a long version, and then a Josh Bowmar version. He gives, I'm always like, okay, short version here, but he talks so much because he does have so much to talk about. And the amount of people who were like, this was such an amazing way to like get to know him in that way because like no one's going to sit down and watch an Instagram story for 5 hours. So it is just a very unique way to like you said, get to know someone, ask questions, have just like that conversation about all of these amazing things that, we're both interested in.
Yeah, no, I completely agree. And you know what's so funny? I don't know Josh well, obviously, but I can just envision him talking for 5 hours on a podcast.
He knows so much about so many things. And like, he loves teaching and helping. And he's never just going to give some like a quick answer. But like the podcast hosts are like, this was like one of our like most listened to podcasts. And so many people like really got to know like him. So it's a really cool, just a really cool way to, get your story out there or even really get to know someone in just a new way.
Totally agree. I feel like either you took that from Josh or he took that from you, or you guys evolved together in that because I think you do a really good job at, just from a social media perspective, not just telling people like use red light or,
For
eat whole food. You give explanations and things like that and like give the full reason. And I mean, gosh, I know you do a lot of blogs and stuff too. So you give
Yeah,
so much information. That's so appreciated being, just a girl on the outside. Like it's so appreciated to see those things and get the full information because there's a lot of people out there who are just like, buy this or take this.
for sure. And they don't understand why, and they can't explain it to you easily. Like if I always tell everyone, if you can't explain something easily, you don't understand it well enough.
Right.
And so for me, I've just been doing social media for so long that like if I'm posting a story, I'm like, okay, I know the top three questions that are going to be asked in my DMs if I don't preemptively put them on this story. So I've almost like trained myself to like in order to like mitigate my DMs, I just answer it on the front end. I'm like, just try to be as proactive as possible. And now it's like, because I am in my own DMs and I do so much of my own comments and things that like over the years, okay, these are the top 10 things that people are going to ask about red light. Okay, throw it in a blog. And that way people can like go and learn. So I'm also a really big believer in like, yes, I love helping and I love teaching, but like if you can learn this stuff yourself, oh my gosh, it will just stick with you so much more than if someone else is just like regurgitating it to you. So I'm like, if you are super interested in HRV, here's my blog on it. Here's my
Yeah.
blog on red light. Here's a YouTube video. So, and I really do enjoy teaching too, because like you said, there is a lot of fluff out there.
Yeah.
And if I can like simplify things in a way that people like, because I tell everyone this, I'm like, I don't want you to buy supplements from us if you don't understand what it is or why you're taking it. I don't want you to buy red light if you don't understand like what the benefits actually are. Like, I want people to like really understand. So I'm like, that's the last thing I want is someone to just be like, well, I bought this thing because someone said to, and I don't even know why I'm doing it. I'm like, no, like, I want to at least educate in some capacity all of these amazing benefits. And it's been a wild ride for sure on
Yeah.
social media.
Yeah. Oh gosh, yeah, we'll get into that. Okay, my first question officially for you. We're gonna go into hunting and then we'll go into like other things. I
Okay,
pray to God this is not 5 hours long. You tell me if you have to go at some point because I have a list of cues for you, but
yeah, no problem.
we'll just keep her going. Share with us how you first got into hunting, what drew you specifically to bow hunting.
So Josh and I met in 2014 at the Arnold in Columbus, Ohio. And I was a vegan at the time. I was like straight down the vegan, Alicia Silverstone, eat, love, pray, kind diet book. And it wasn't that I was against hunting because no one in my family has ever hunted. So it wasn't like I was like anti hunting or even necessarily anti meat eating. I was just, and still am, anti factory farming, anti animal cruelty. And so in me, essentially, like just there was no other way for me to get meat. So I'm like, well, if I can only buy it from the store and I don't agree with these factory farming practices and I don't know where the meat's coming from, then I'm just not going to eat it. And so when I met Josh and our first date was at lunch food court at the convention center in Columbus, Ohio, Hippo.
God.
And I'm ordering and he's like, why are you only ordering vegetables? I'm like, oh, I'm a vegan. He's like, well, I'm a bow hunter. I've been a bow hunter my whole life. And I'm like, oh my God, okay, panicking inside. I'm like, this guy's so hot. Like, what do I say? Now I'm like backed into a corner. But I'm like, well, I'm not anti-hunting. I just, I've never been exposed to it.
Yeah.
No one has ever sat down and explained it to me. And so I think just like having that like open mind obviously then transitioned into, archery and bow hunting. And so that was in early March 2014. And then we were both prepping for the Pittsburgh Pro, which was our last bodybuilding show that we did in May of 2014. So we had like 8 weeks left. And Josh's like, well, if you want to hunt, we can go get you a bow. Turkey season comes in like 6-ish weeks in Ohio, and you can go try to shoot a turkey. And at this point, like I'd never seen a hunting show. I'd never been inside a Cabela's, a Bass Pro. What is an archery? What's a bow release? I'm like,
Yeah.
okay, sure. Like, well, I want the pink arrows and I want the pink bow and I want the pink, and it was just it's so funny, like just how much it's evolved now. But we go and got a bow set up. He was very smart because he did not teach me how to shoot himself. So he took me to a pro shop, the bow techs there taught me how to shoot. And at the time, we had a very fast track relationship. So by this time, this would have been like beginning of April. We were already like living together. Like it was very like when you know kind of
Yeah.
situation. And luckily, we were living in an apartment at the time, and we were like, well, how else are we going to shoot and practice this bow? So, literally, at like midnight each night, we would go out in the parking lot of our apartment complex because no one else was out there. And we would like shoot into the apartment at the target because I'm like, well, we can't be shooting like this is a like we can't be discharging weapons in the parking lot, like at targets. It's pitch black. I'm like, what if someone's walking around? And so luckily the security guard was also a hunter and he's like, you guys like really shouldn't be doing this, but like just be super careful and like only shoot like into the apartment. I'm like, okay. So like I said, never seen a hunting show, had no idea how difficult turkey hunting with a bow was going to be.
Ugh.
No one told me, and which I'm very glad about
Yeah.
because then I didn't have it in my head like, well, this is going to be hard. This is going to be impossible. I was a vegan 4 weeks ago, and mind you, at this point, I'm still a vegan because I was like, well, yeah, I'll like eat the first thing I kill, but like I still don't agree with the factory farming. So I'm like, yeah,
Right.
I'll hunt. Like that's all I'm going to eat. And so went out and sat a few times. And Josh is like, he's been bow hunting his whole life, so like he's a great turkey caller, great turkey hunter, and he's like, well, you're going to shoot first, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, okay. And like, we run over shot placement and everything. And we also only shoot them in the head. So that was the other kicker. So turkey came in and just did our decoy dirty. I shot its head almost clean off. And you would have thought Josh won a Super Bowl. Cause like literally at this point, we had only known each other for like 8 weeks, and he literally called his mom and was like, I'm marrying this girl. Like, how is this even like possible? We met at the gym. She didn't live down here. She was a vegan. Like, it was just like the craziest, like, just meeting, I guess. And so then ever since then, it's just been a whirlwind. Like, had you told me what it would have grown into, like, I literally would not have believed you. Like, I'm like,
Yeah.
there's literally no way that we will have been to all the places that we've been to and like just been able to just have so many opportunities. And we're going to move to Iowa for deer. Like, okay, I guess, like, why not? And so it's been a wild ride for sure. But yeah, I was vegan when I met Josh, and he was the one who got me into bow hunting, obviously. But I think that too is why our content is so unique, because we play in multiple industries. And so for us, like, one of the reasons I believe that we have the platforms that we do is to educate people on the benefits of hunting, conservation, hunting in Africa, debunking these hunting stereotypes, and really like showing the other side of hunting, because so many people have this like negative stigma about it. And so just because I think for me, not being a hunter my entire life, because I feel like some hunters are like, well, it's my way or the highway. It's like, that's not really a way to like introduce people into it. It's not a good way to like explain what we do. So you do have to take like an educational approach to it. And when you can show people like these villages are affected by this in Africa, or these, this leopard is killing this leopard, and this is conservation at its finest, like the videos hit home so much. And it's just been, like I said, it's been really cool to just see like what our platform has been able to like showcase and educate. And like the amount of people, especially women, who have messaged me over the years, like, I didn't get it, now I do, now I want to go out with my boyfriend, I want to start archery, like all of these things. I'm like, that is like the coolest thing in the world, especially like given how detached so many people are from like just hunting and gathering and foraging and like all these like very primitive primal things. And it's crazy the difference in some people compared to like people who like want to hunt. So it's really cool to see like just so many women like getting into it and showing interest in it.
Yeah, one of the best pieces about you is that you are so raw and real on Instagram. I always know you're telling me the truth. You're like just like giving it to us real.
Too much of the truth.
Oh,
Like,
oh no, I'm also maybe too much sometimes too, but like that is what people want. Like, and if you don't want that, like we won't go there. But
yeah,
like,
it is what it is. No,
yeah,
for sure. No, and that's what we tell everyone, because like we've been doing this for so long. And to me, like, I could not imagine being one person online and one person in person. Like,
yeah,
we meet people almost daily. And so for me to then have to go into like, oh, at Sarah underscore Bowmar, as opposed to just like Sarah at the gym or Sarah at the grocery store or, you know, Sarah at the airport. I'm like, no, like we are the exact same. Like, has social media hardened us a little bit? Yeah, sure, probably.
Yeah.
But if anything, it's like I know my truth and I know my audience. And like now, just being a mom, I'm like, I'm not gonna tolerate like the nonsense. I'm like, if you're not a fan, just be gone. Bye. Like
Yeah.
I might have the longest block list in history. Like it's ridiculous. But I'm like, I just don't have the time for it. I
No,
don't have the time.
no. Honestly, it's easier to just block it and move on.
Yep,
Yeah.
exactly.
You kind of answered this, but what role does hunting play in your life, like beyond the sport? So, like spiritually, mentally, family traditions, that kind of thing. And then I do want to say this real quick, and then you can go into it. But something you recently talked about on Instagram was your bracelet, and so
Oh yeah.
and you
Yeah.
also mentioned the African hunt. So I want you to go into that stuff for us.
Yeah, for sure. So yeah, for me, I mean, hunting is it's very spiritual because as a bow hunter, most of the time you're not getting anything. You're not
Yeah.
filling a tag, you're going home empty-handed. And so you have to love, obviously, it's hunting, it's not killing, right? And so you do have to have that like very spiritual, faith-based relationship with the sport essentially, or you're just gonna quit. And so for us, like, yeah, like we obviously like Josh's entire family grew up hunting, and it's something that our kids, like, yes, they've been to Africa and they've come turkey hunting with us and they go on the boat with us. And it's just such a cool way to involve them in one, the sport of archery, but then hunting and just them having and grasping that concept of like, this is where our food comes from. These animals are actually living being things, like we are taking their lives. Like it's a very grown up, mature thing to like explain to a child. But anyone who meets our kids, like they are so like well spoken. They understand so much. I'm like, yes, because we don't baby them. We don't
Yeah.
hide them from like the truth of, I mean, when our goat died, like Oakley wanted to help us bury her. Like it's this very like circle of life thing. And I think it's so important, like I said, just for so many people, but especially kids to like understand all of that. So it just makes you like a more well, you know, more well-rounded person. But
Yeah.
yes, spiritually, it's it beyond work, like because now it is a job now. And like we don't hunt without a camera, we don't fish without a camera, we do nothing without at least one or two, sometimes three, four cameramen. And so now it obviously is a job, but it's so cool to be able to relive those moments on YouTube with the kids. And like you mentioned, like we've been to Africa over a half a dozen times now. And I tell everyone, like, we originally did not want to go. We had literally no interest in hunting Africa. And we were hunting with a couple friend of ours in New Zealand. And they're like, we have this like really unique opportunity if you guys want to come to South Africa with us in a few weeks. And I'm like, well, we could have planned this a little better. Like, so now we have to fly home. Now we have to fly back. But like, whatever. We didn't have kids at the time. So I'm like, yeah, sure, whatever. We'll go to
Yeah.
Africa. I'm so glad we did because like it was insane. Like just culturally, the animals, just the experience, like it's the most I tell everyone, I'm like, you need to get to Africa in some capacity. A cruise, a safari, a hunt, something like it will it's one of the most spiritual places. Like it's
Yeah.
incredible. But yes. So I don't know if you guys can see. So yes, I did share my reel on my bracelet. So in 2023, we had Dean and Oakley in camp with us. We were in Tanzania and we were gone for almost 2 months. We were in Tanzania and then we went to Uganda. And in that, you know, what are we targeting here? What's the goal for this trip? What's all the content that we were to get? And when we got there, which we didn't even realize this, but when we got there, because Josh had got a hippo 2 years prior when he went. He went 8 days before me and Oakley, and so we weren't there for the hippo hunt because it was just like
Okay.
it was too dangerous of a place for her to go to. And so then we met him in Arusha. But so I was like, well, like a hippo would kind of be cool. Like I'm like that would be amazing for me to get. It's part of the the big five, it's part of the dangerous seven. I'm like, if I'm gonna do like these very pinnacle African like accolades, like I
Hmm.
need to bow and with a bow. And my PH was like, I don't know if that's actually ever been done by a female before. And I'm like, well, let's find out. And so we did a bunch of research, all of the PHs in camp, and like the outfitter owner, like he reached out to so many people, like they're so well connected with all like these different outfitters, like all across Africa. And not one of them came, and especially ones that primarily take bow hunters, and not one of them came back and said, a woman has ever got a hippo before that we know of with the bow. And I'm like, it's not an SEI. There's nothing on Google. There's nothing on YouTube. There's nothing like anywhere of like of a recorded woman taking a hippo with archery equipment. I'm like, okay, like let's freaking do it. Like, draw.
Sign me up, right?
Yeah, I'm like, let's like, this is amazing. And so I had been obviously practicing. I think at the time that bow was 65 pounds. And that's the thing is like you take such a strong bow to be able to penetrate like such a big animal in an ethical way. And my PH was like, no, let's freaking make it happen. And so that hunt is on YouTube. It's amazing. Like it was such a cool experience. Just obviously the kids were in camp. Josh and I were talking back and forth on the sat phone and like just being able to like send him that message and just knowing like how much work he put into my bow, how much I practiced, how strong I had to get for that hunt. The kids being there, like it was the coolest thing. And when I got my hip, so actually when we were in Mozambique in 2019, all of the trackers had this like very grayish, like almost like marble looking bracelet. And I'm like, oh my gosh, like what is that? I'm like, in my head, I'm like, it's not a bone. It's not like what it made no sense to me because it didn't come off their wrist. And I'm like, okay, one, how did that get on their hand? And two, like, what is that? And of course they don't speak English. And our PH was like, no, that's elephant, that's hippo skin from one of our clients. And they made bracelets for everyone. And you essentially like put the bracelet on wet and then it shrinks and then you physically like can't take it off your wrist. And I'm like, oh my gosh, like that would be super cool. Never in a million years thinking like I would even have the opportunity to hunt a hippo, let alone like want to or even be strong enough to. And so I'm like, when Josh got his, I'm like, can we get bracelets? He's like, one, you're not here. And two, we're full body mounting that entire hippo because it was so big. It's going to be the most ridiculous mount. So he's like, we can't take any of the skin. And so I'm like, okay, that's fine. And then not that I shot the hippo for the bracelet, but it's one of the coolest things just because I'm like, okay, literally every single day for the last 2 years, every time I look down to my Apple Watch sits right next to it. Every time I look down at my watch, I see that bracelet. I'm like, okay, like this is actually such an accomplishment and like something that I'm so proud of because it's not just something that like accidentally fell in my lap. I'm like, I prepped for this without even knowing what I was getting ready for. And to me, that just like makes it seem like mean so much more. It's not like I was like, for a year, I'm like, I'm gonna kill a hippo, so I'm gonna do all these workouts. I'm like, no, I was just already working out. And it just so happened like I needed a super strong bow. And we ended up getting a bunch of bracelets with clasps made for the kids the way they can wear them. My PH took like probably 40 pounds of skin from so no one knows this, but I got a hippo our last trip to Tanzania too. And he, the same PH, he's like, can I take some of the skin for Sprocky for his little dog? And I'm like, yeah, sure. So I'm like, that dog got like a bunch of treats and stuff. So it's just really neat that like, it's just such a unique trophy essentially, but the amount of people who are like, wow, like nothing actually goes to waste in Africa. I'm like, no, like everything is utilized, every part of the animal. And and I don't even think actually a lot of people realize like that I was the first woman to get a hippo with the bow. And so when I was able to like tell that story and just like share with everyone, like so many people, one of my most watched reels of the last like year, it was so cool.
That's amazing. Tell us more, because I know more in detail from watching your stories, but tell us more about where all of the like parts of the hippo go. Like you don't need to go into detail with that, but like tell us more about that.
Yeah, for sure. So the bracelet, so obviously we kept part of the skin and then the tusks, the teeth for the mount, because like the mount that Josh has in mind, like mine's coming out of the water about to like fight his. And so we didn't need like the full skin. I think we kept like the front half of it maybe.
Okay.
So then the back half, they take like Coke bottles and cut the skin and then they shape the bracelets with the Coke bottles and then they dry them partially in the sun. And then once they're like shaped and like a little bit smaller, they put them on your wrist completely wet. And then over like, I would say about like 2 weeks, it shrinks and dries and almost like dehydrates itself. And so we made bracelets, the dog treats, you can do like all kinds of like leather cases. So laptop cases, rifle cases, people take elephant skin and do couches and chairs and briefcases and like all these just very like unique pieces and way to like really like it's such a talking piece. Like if you see an elephant couch, it's like, okay, like that's one of the coolest things ever. Or like my, I don't have it on, but my leopard floating bone necklace, and they have lion floating bone bracelets, and just all of these so unique pieces of
Mhm.
these animals. And it's like, is anyone going to kill a leopard for floating bones? I hope not,
No.
but it's a really cool way to just like, oh my gosh, what's that? And to be able to like talk about that and share the
Yeah.
story. But then, I mean, even down to the intestines, like every part of that animal is used in some capacity, whether it's food, leather, part of the mount, bait for a leopard, bait for a crocodile, anything. Like when Josh got his elephant, they even were fighting over the blood, like because they use it for medicine. Yeah, it's
Really?
crazy. Like they're so resourceful because they have to be.
Yeah.
And like the amount of information now that's coming out about like crocodile fat and it possibly helping cure cancer, and nature really is like a healer. And so, yeah, no, not absolutely nothing. When I shot my eland in Uganda in 2023, yes, obviously it's not like we shot off like a smoke signal or texted someone or, like sent a firework up. Like somehow though, like 20 people were just like all around us like instantly, and I'm like, we're just like watching from the bushes. I'm like, where did all these people come from? And they were literally like, they were helping us take care of the eland. And my ph was talking to them, and he's like, take as much of, they love the tripe and then the stomach, and not only the stomach but like the stuff in the stomach. So they were like cutting up, because they're like chambered stomachs like a cow, and they
Uh-huh.
were cutting up the pieces, like here's 15 pieces of stomach, and like rationing it to, and like it was it was like you had given them, a gold ring or something. They were like
Mm.
fighting over it. I'm like, fighting over the insides of an eland stomach is insane to me, but it literally just goes to show like nothing goes to waste there.
Yeah. Yeah, that's amazing. So cool. And you have, so when you go over there, you guys obviously have a lot of connections, but I know you guys have stayed either at like I don't want to say the wrong thing, but like with groups of um people over there who
Mhm.
need the food or like need that. How did you get involved with those groups?
So I think we've been 6 times. Yeah, 6 times to Africa. And the first 2 times we went to South Africa, and we told our outfitters right away. We were like, we want to eat as much of it in camp, obviously, as we can,
Yeah.
because it's so good. But a lot of outfitters, unfortunately, will take and sell the meat that their hunters kill, because you can't go from South Africa to Botswana with meat. So it's not even like, oh, well, I can travel within Africa with this meat. No, you can't leave the country unless it's processed and dried. And so
Mm.
a lot of outfitters will sell the meat. And that was something that we made very clear from day one. We're like, if you need to charge us more to make up for that difference, that's fine. But it's very important to us that we take this to a school, a hospital, an orphanage, a village that needs it. Like, this is something that we want to document, because again, it's something that it's a side that so many people don't get to see. And we obviously would have done it whether it was documented or not. Like the
Yeah.
amount of meals that we've donated like off camera is crazy, but you do need to show it and just show how grateful they are. And so our first 2 trips we kind of booked on our own, and then our last 4 trips we booked through a connection that we actually met at the ATA in Indianapolis. And we were at the Hoyt booth, and we were doing like our signing or whatever. And Donnie he's from South Africa, and he comes up with this little backpack, and he's like, this little accent, and he's like, hey, like, I am Donnie, I am a bow hunter, I'm Hoyt's only sponsored South African. I would love for you guys to like come and hunt with me. And we're like, okay, like little kid, like, yeah, we're gonna fly halfway across the country, or halfway across the world, because like this little kid like came up to us, at ATA,
Right.
and was like, please come hunt with me. And after he walked away, Jeremy Eldridge, the marketing director there, he's like, you guys need to hunt with that guy. Like, he's amazing. Like, he is so well spoken. He has like vetted all of these outfitters. You guys won't waste any time with where you're going, what you're doing. Cause like, yes, money aside, it's very important to go to the right place, but it's also time. I mean, it takes a good 2.5 days to get out there. Then by the time you're there, you have to be out there for like a bare minimum of 2.5, 3 weeks, and then coming home and all just the time that goes into it. And so when we met Donnie, it was just like a match made in heaven. We were like, this is where we want to go, this is what we want to hunt, this is what we want to accomplish. And in knowing and having that relationship with him, and then the outfitters that we go to, we're just like, we have to give back, we need to document this, we need to like show this side of it. And that's one of the really cool things about where we go in Tanzania, because they have a very like symbiotic relationship with the villagers, and it's one of the ways that they actually promote and really establish anti-poaching in that area. Because if they find that someone in the village has been poaching any of the animals, they cut off the meat completely to the entire village for weeks. And so it's very imperative that like everyone like works together to ensure that no one is poaching. So it's a very like intercommunal thing where so many people are like, we can't poach, because then the meat stops and then we won't have anything to eat. And so it's a really cool relationship that they've built with a bunch of the villagers around that area. Because it the thing with people who are poaching, it's usually they're not specifically targeting old males. They're catching babies in snares. They're catching
Mhm.
pregnant females in snares, and they're still going to eat it. But that isn't conservation. That's not taking the right animal to you know ensure that the population grows and is healthy and all of that. So it's a really cool dynamic that they have with the villagers there. And every single outfitter that we've ever been to, like I said, we want to take it to a school, village, hospital, whatever we can do, we want to do it. And we've been to so many just different classrooms and schools and, orphanages, and just being able to like donate. And I will never forget the first year we went to South Africa, because schools there are you pretty much it's not like there's a school like in every village. Like some kids are like 2.5, 3 hours away from their homes. And so they stay at these schools for the week. And then sometimes the parents come on the weekend, sometimes they don't. And so these schools are responsible for feeding these kids,
Yeah.
3 meals a day. And the first school that we went to, we were there and they were like, this is amazing timing. Like God's will for sure, because we just ran out of meat and we wouldn't have had another delivery for, I think it was like 2.5 or 3 weeks. And like, so these kids literally would only have had like rice or oats for almost a month. And so like they made like the most beautiful like song and dance for us. And they were just so like appreciative. And it's like, this is what it's all about. Yes, we got to have our fun hunting these animals, but like now we get to give to this entire school of children meet for like half a month is like one of the coolest feelings I think one of the coolest experiences we'll ever have.
100%. Yeah.
Mhm.
I don't know if you'll feel that in any other way. Like that's such a special feeling. That's amazing. Let's move into Bowmar bow hunting.
Mhm.
So, what inspired you and Josh to start that, and how has it evolved since like the beginning?
So Josh started that YouTube channel in 2008 and we didn't meet until 2014. So he's been filming and he has like old hunts of him like shooting rats in a barn with his like homemade longbow and just like doing the most ridiculous things. But he started it. He just always essentially wanted to be like famous in the hunting industry, growing up watching all of these, channels and shows on Outdoor Channel and Pursuit and Sportsman's, and just really wanting to become like famous in the hunting industry. And obviously YouTube came around. You no longer have to be on TV in order to produce content and post it and share it for the world to see. But yeah, I mean, when we met, we did all of our own editing for years,
Mhm.
like filming on like handy cams. And like we went up to Canada one time and I was filming for him for this bear hunt and I fell asleep in the tree behind him and like this bear came out and I'm like sitting back there just like passed out and
No.
never let me live that down. But yeah, like I said, to see like what it's evolved into now, and obviously with TikTok and Instagram Shorts versus or YouTube Shorts and Instagram Reels and all of these things, like you do have to be like crazier and
Mhm.
get these like insane angles and slow motion, and you have to. We really obviously have upgraded our filming and our editing and all of that. But for a while, it was literally just two kids from Ohio just walking in a river and filming each other on handy cams. I think my first year we took a total of like 2 photos. Like I look back and I'm like, okay, like what were we taking a photo with? Like what they used to film like the Blair Witch Project. Like it was so bad. But it is fun to see and like look back at like how it started and even like our bow fishing content and stuff and like the old boat that we used to have versus like what we have now and just like how everything is edited essentially and filmed with like the end product in mind. But yeah, Josh has been filming for a long time and now has grown that YouTube channel to be the largest outdoor hunting or outdoor channel in the world, which is crazy.
Wild.
Mhm.
So fun. Okay, as a woman in a largely male dominant space, what kind of reception have you experienced in the hunting community?
Luckily, most of it has been positive. I would say like 95% of it has been positive. Especially from people that like we would take advice from. You know
Yeah,
what I mean?
sure.
There's that old saying like don't take criticism from people you wouldn't take advice from. And so everyone that we have met specifically in the industry, minus like one bad egg, is amazing. Like so supportive. They love seeing women in the outdoor industry. They love the social media side of things, and, you know, all of that. And obviously on social media, you just have jealous people. And for
Yeah,
so long, it's like, it was like women fighting me. And I'm like, that's a really big bummer because like there's no reason for it. And it's like, well, why do
right.
you wear lashes when you hunt? I'm like, because I had lashes on all day. You want me to take more time to take my lashes off before I go hunting? I'm like, I I, I had them on all day. Like what? And what the fuck does it matter? Like, does that mean that I can't shoot my bow? I'm like, I'm fine with my lashes. Like, I'm also filming. I want to look good. It's no
Yeah.
different than if you just do better when you feel better. And so yeah, for a while it was just these catty, nasty women, and I'm like, that's really sad because like especially in a male dominated industry, like we don't need to be like attacking one another. And then like 3% just being beta males that think that I don't know if they just want the entire hunting industry to be a sausage fest, but I'm like, if you guys continue to like harass women out of this sport, it will literally be a boys club. And
That doesn't sound fun.
no, not at all. Like, don't you want your like if you truly love your spouse, like don't you want them to go fishing or hunting with you? Or at least like if your wife or girlfriend hunts, like she's not gonna sit there and be like, oh, why are you hunting again? Like she's actually going to like get it and understand. And then you can travel to like places that you would I ever go to Mozambique? Probably not if I wasn't hunting, but like
Right.
now we get to go there and experience like all of these amazing things specifically because of hunting. But yeah, for a while, I would say it has gotten a lot better in the last few years. I don't know if I've just blocked everyone who is mean, so I can't see the mean comments anymore. But it is very rare, and the thing is, and this is something that Tim Wells and Josh have spoken about a few times. He's like, just block those people because like you start to see negative comments, but really it's from a core 25 or 30 people that just comment over and over and over again. And once you block them, they're gone. And he's like, I know they're so loud, but there's not as many of them as you think. Once you block them, and so much of that noise just goes away because then it almost becomes like a mob mentality. Like, oh,
Yeah.
well, this person thinks that of that person. Should I also think that? No, you're not even going to get to comment. Like, I
Yeah.
have so many blocked words in my comments that like people can't even leave. And so I don't know if I've just like worn people down to be like, trying to like leave a comment and they're like, oh, I can't say this thing. I'm just gonna move on. I'm like, okay, bye. Like,
Yeah.
so it used to be really, really, really bad. I would say in like really when we first started out, like, and I'm not one to like, yeah, well, I wear a bikini when we go bow fishing. Of course, it's 110 degrees on the boat and I'm covered in fish eggs. Like, yeah, I'm gonna wear a bikini, but like it's not like I go out of my way to be like,
Yeah.
just obnoxious about it. And I'm like, don't wear skin tight, you know, shorts when I'm hunting or anything like that. I'm like, I don't, like I said, don't go out of my way to. I could, we could start, only turkey fans tomorrow and like really make it rain. But like, I really tone it down. So it has gotten significantly better
That's good.
in the last few years, which is really good. But yeah, I mean, it stinks because I'm like, so many women like would really excel in archery and, in hunting, but
Also,
just
like
figure
the
it
thing
out.
too is like grow a community. Like if instead of like hating on me, maybe ask me about whatever it is that you have an issue with, and maybe we can like start a conversation and get to know each other, and then maybe you'll want to do it too. Like give me a chance.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, but I feel like the people who truly are like happy and willing to have a conversation, like you're not going to see them leaving those comments like
No.
on social media. And it's like I used to argue and I used to be like, I can change this person. I'm like, you know what? This is just like, and then I had kids and I'm like, one, I don't, but two, I'm like, this just isn't even worth it to me. Like you
No.
are so hell bent on disliking me. Like no matter what I say or do, you've already made up your mind like that you don't like me. So just you can have that narrative in your head, and I'm going to keep shooting world record animals and
Yeah.
having fun with my husband. So I'm like, it doesn't stop me from paying my bills. So that's just what
No.
I always tell myself. I'm like, they're unhappy and miserable, and that's just who they are.
Yep. And there's no point in wasting your time trying to make them think that you're a person that you're not or whatever. Like they're just not worth the breath.
Exactly.
Okay, so what's your message to women who are interested in hunting but feel intimidated by it?
So I definitely, obviously, I'm very blessed to have like one of the world's best archers as my husband. So like
Yeah.
I am very blessed in the sense that like I don't have to go to a pro shop for X, Y, and Z, and I don't have to like necessarily rely on like outside sources. But I would say like if you are intimidated to either start hunting or start archery, like I would say to go get your hunter safety course, hunter safety license, cert, whatever, almost immediately, because you will meet, it might be a lot of kids that you meet, but those kids have parents. And so it's nice to even be able to just like talk to other people, obviously, who are interested in hunting and really like almost gain like a little bit of insight. Like, hey, is there an archery range around here? Is there public land? Like, what do you guys recommend I do? Someone might even offer to mentor you if you ask. But another thing is like if your boyfriend is into it or your husband and you're wanting to start, like buy yourself your own camo. You don't need to be wearing your husband's hand-me-downs. You don't need to be using his like hand-me-down bow. Like the greatest thing that Josh did for me and our relationship was having the Botex teach me how
Yeah.
to shoot. And obviously he can now teach me because I obviously have the fundamentals down, and we have that relationship now. But for the first few years it was like, oh, Mark's going to do it. Oh, Steve's going to do it. I am not saying a word to you. Like you're going to shut down completely. And so that's something that like in any sport, golf, guns, bows, whatever, like have a professional teach your wife or girlfriend how to shoot, because it will make like the world of difference for your relationship, and just like really give, women that confidence in the sport. But I think now it's like it's so nice to be able to watch YouTube, watch social media, learn from people who you like actively follow and like aspire to be. And for the most part, like the answer's out there for sure. If you know the right questions to ask, if you have the right resources, but finding a mentor is huge, like in anything. But if you can't, like let social media and the internet and even chat GPT be the thing or the person or the source that you go to ask questions while you're gaining that experience.
Right. Yeah. I think it's hilarious that you say that Josh didn't teach you because my husband is huge into musky fishing and he obviously got me interested in it and involved and he taught me how to do it and I feel like I don't know how you are, Sarah, but I am very much like good at everything I do. Like I have high expectations for myself. Oh, I don't know how to musky fish. Guess what? I'm already a musky fisherman. Like don't
Yeah.
even try to tell me that I'm not. And so it's difficult when your husband is the one because he loves you so much, he wants you to do well, and you already think you know everything. And it's like, just give me
Yep.
someone else, have someone else teach me.
Literally though, like the amount of things that Josh would say to me, and then if like our engineer David Hauser would tell me them, I'm like, oh, okay, that makes sense. And Josh's like, I literally said that to you. Like, I'm like, yeah, but he said it better. I don't know. It is because like I think we just want to impress them so much. And
Yeah.
it's like, okay, like I have to be this like alpha, and I need to like, have this, I just need to be good at it right away.
Yeah.
And yeah, no, it's that was I said that was the best thing that he could have done for
Yeah,
both of us.
for sure, for sure. What's your dream hunt, or have you already done it?
We've done a lot of things. If I lost both arms tomorrow and couldn't bow hunt, it's not like I would sit here and be like, I missed out on something. We've
Yeah.
been blessed with so many opportunities, but my absolute dream hunt would be bison in the snow
Oh,
and like horseback and like camping and like going in that way, like a natural herd, mountains everywhere, just like this picturesque, like, I'm like full draw shooting this thing and like it's like heavy snow and getting this bison. It's like full coat and dead of winter. Have to use the horses to get it out. Like just a very like Oregon Trail primitive like style of hunt. And it's one that we just neither of us have ever. We just haven't had the opportunity yet to do a bison hunt. And so that would be like my absolute dream. So
my God.
mm,
You were
yeah.
just saying all that, and I'm like, she's really thought about this. I
Oh,
haven't.
like I'm like trying to like manifest it and like down to every detail. We really want to do a moose as well. We've not
Yeah.
ever moose hunted, and that's one where it's like it's one of my favorite meats to eat. But it's and again, it's like it's beautiful. It's mountainous. There's rivers. It's thick country. You get like that one-on-one interaction, and you get to call to them. I think that's why we like enjoy turkey hunting so much because you have that. You communicate back and forth with them.
Yeah.
So we'll see. Hopefully soon.
My gosh. Freaking cool. Okay. You mentioned Hoyt. Are you still shooting Hoyt?
We are. So we were with Bowtech for like a year and a half, and then we went to Hoyt for 2.5, 3 years maybe. I was in there when they launched the Defiant bow. I was one of the Defiant like commercial, like they came to Columbus for like 3 days, filmed like this huge I'm Defiant series. It was so much fun. And then we just decided really honestly about the time right before we moved to Iowa, we're like, we just kind of want to be sponsor free. Like, we don't necessarily want to have our channel be solely like sponsored by X, Y, and Z. And oh, we got this because of this and this. And it just became a little too much. And at the time, a lot of hunting companies and outdoor companies were still solely focused on TV and didn't really understand social media. And so for us, like, our YouTube channel at the time was getting more views in a month, I feel, than like the top TV show in a year. And so it's like, okay, the value is obviously here, but they were like still doing print and TV and not really having a budget for social media. And so we weren't getting compensated for really like the reach and the engagement and like the marketing that we brought to the table. So we're like, you know what? Like, you guys figure it out. We are going to be sponsor free for a little while. And it was around the time too when we started going on a little bit more like adventure hunts. So
Yeah.
we went up to we're 45 miles north of the Arctic Circle. We were on a caribou hunt that really was like a caribou hike. And just at the time we were with one company, but they didn't have the gear that we needed for that kind of hunt. And we're like, okay, so do we experience hypothermia because like you guys don't have what we need for this hunt? Or do we just like buy other stuff that like is actually like geared towards this style of hunting? And so we're like, you know what? Like this just doesn't make sense for us. Like, yeah, their gear works for like 80% of it. But if we're gonna be doing these like really big hunts, like we need to just be using the best of the best stuff for that specific hunt or terrain or environment or whatever, like regardless of if it steps on a sponsor's toes. And so we're like, you know what, we're gonna go completely sponsor free. And we still are. We do shoot Hoyt. They take care of us, they send us bows, but there's no contract. There's nothing where they
Yeah.
pay us. We are required to post anything for them. They've always been such a good company to us and have supported us for the last 11 years, and they're amazing. Like we love everyone over there. And so for us, it's like we could shoot whatever we wanted tomorrow. And Josh is the most anal person you probably will ever meet when it comes to like being like he fine tunes those bows so much. It's actually insane. And so he will never like waste his time with something that's like not the best of the best. So you see his bow shop, he's got 25, 30 bows around there, could shoot anything at any time. And for some hunts and some situations, it might be a different bow. But for this year, yeah, we have the new Hoyts. The color is so pretty. It's like this like army green. It's so beautiful. Like I love that bow and I can't wait to use it. But and then for bow fishing, like we use Oneida bows. And but he does so much testing and stuff with all of the archery things that he invents and whatnot. But no,
Yeah.
we've shot Hoyt on and off since 2014 essentially.
Yeah. Love it. What's next for Bowmar bow hunting? What are you guys doing this year? Anything big?
We have a lot of bow fishing content coming out, and I think we're going to do Colorado for elk and antelope possibly. We talked about going back to South Africa to get a bunch of like slow motion content. Not sure if we're going to do that this year or next year. And then Josh was kind of toying around with another bear hunt, but just with bow fishing, tack events, all the other things. I don't know if we're going to do that this year, but hoping maybe a bison hunt,
Yeah.
maybe if I can manifest it. And then deer, like we've just last year we went to Africa like the end of May through essentially July. And so we neither of us shot a turkey last year and we didn't go bow fishing at all. And those two things are like bow fishing is like one of our top like styles of content on Bowmar bow hunting. So like we really need to hit like the bow fishing hard this year and get a bunch of like drone content, slow motion, bow fishing content. Like it's crazy. Those videos are insane what they can do on YouTube. So kind of just like chilling. Josh is inventing so many products right now with Beast and Bowmar Archery. And really like I feel like our travel is gonna kind of like slow down for a few years just while he's doing that. And then really like waiting for the kids to like be old enough and strong enough to like come with us on these adventure hunts because I'm like that would be like even if I don't get anything I'm like to watch them like hunt would be one of the coolest things. So
Oh,
um opportunities always come up too though, so it's always like, hey,
yeah.
you want to like do this thing? We're like, yeah, sure, maybe like that'll work. So who knows, but nothing too crazy planned for
Yeah.
this year.
Yeah. That's okay. Like you said,
Mhm.
maybe something comes up and I'm crossing my fingers for you in that bison hunt.
Yes.
Okay, I want to switch gears. We're going into fitness and nutrition. I cannot not ask about all of this. Like,
Yeah.
this is a dream conversation.
Mhm.
But tell us about what inspired your transition from like personal fitness to becoming a literal authority in the fitness industry.
An OG, as the kids say. No, when I really started my fitness journey in 2012, and I went to the Arnold for the first time that year, and absolutely, I was just like all of these women that are like strong and have these amazing muscles, and they're competing, and I ended up catching the prejudging for the bikini pros at the Arnold, and I'm just like standing there like drooling. I'm like, oh my god, this is my calling. And then fast forward to the Arnold 2014, I started growing my social media following. I started competing, but it was before Instagram had stories, before Instagram even had videos, like no carousels, no links, no, it was just posts. And I just had a very like niche, I guess, content, like just niche content because I was vegan and competing at the time. And so I would just share like a lot of recipes and like my own personal like transformation. And the amount of women who reached out and were like, I need help, I need help. And I'm like, I'm not qualified for any of this. I'm like, I went to school for marketing. Like, I cannot help anyone. I don't want to get in trouble here. And so I was like, well, like maybe I'll get like a certification or something. And so then I got fitness nutrition certified and I started kind of doing I was working at a digital marketing agency at the time. And all the people in the social media team were like, you need to get on Instagram, you need to start posting this content. I'm like, that's the last thing I want to do is another social media page. I'm like, absolutely not, no way. And they're like, no, you have to. They're like, you have to for your job. I'm like, okay, whatever. Like, it's fine. So I started it. And like to this day, I don't even know like if they hadn't pushed me, I don't think that like my life would be what it is today. And so I just started sharing. And like I said, just women reaching out and they're like, we want to, can you help me with a meal plan? Can you help me with training? And I'm like, I can help you with some of it. I need to finish the certification first. And then kind of started growing my following and just really sharing fitness content, like workouts, like that I would like type up in like word art or something, like just so art, like the most archaic thing you could ever think of. And but it was just real content. And it was
Yep.
like, okay, this isn't like a Pinterest like tune your arms workout. This is like
Yeah.
an intense like actual bodybuilding workout. And started, like I said, growing a following, met Josh at the Arnold 2 years later, and the rest is kind of history. But yeah, I mean, anymore now, it's just like I really do love sharing and educating and like really kind of breaking that stigma of like the typical like female workout. Like, oh, you need to lift legs 4 days a week and only do like really lightweight arm stuff. And I'm like if that's the body you want, go for it. That's why they call it bodybuilding. You get to build the body you want. However, I hate women being afraid of getting strong, growing their muscles, having a big upper body, like just being strong and looking strong. And I'm like, it's the most like rewarding things you can do because it's not something that you can buy. Like
Yeah.
it demands respect if you are in shape. And so I really just love, like I said, sharing and like breaking that stigma of what like a typical woman would lift or how they would train, and just showing women that like you can be strong and it can be like a very feminine look. And it's like I said, it's the most empowering thing I think you can do.
I agree. And muscles are hot. Girl, guy, whatever you wanted, like muscles are
Really,
great.
you can't buy them. And so it's like,
Right.
okay, like I know you worked hard for it. And especially for someone who is fit, because you know how much work goes into it. Like it just doesn't happen overnight. It takes insane daily. I tell everyone, I'm like, oh, I love food too much. I'm like, yeah, so do I. Like I literally think about it every minute of every day. So like, the fact that I avoid it should tell you like how much I really like it and how much I think about it. So yeah, no, it is the most attractive quality, like physical quality I think anyone could have.
Yeah, 100%.
Mhm.
You mentioned fitness nutrition as a certificate you got, like certification you got. Is that still what you would do like today, or is there one that you would like consider doing instead?
So I've received a lot since then. So I also became prenatal and postpartum certified in between Oakley and Dean, and then typical certified personal trainer. I also just finished a glute specialist cert, which was really fun. Um, what else have I done in the fitness space? A few like sleep certs when the kids were young, but
Mhm.
I mean, like as an overall it just kind of depends. Like if you want to do online training or if you're going to work in a gym, but any of the like accreditations, they require you to like have continued learning. So like I would start with like a certified personal trainer certificate and then do nutrition specialist, prenatal and postpartum, like all of these like add-ons. That way you like have the foundation first and
Yeah.
then just build upon that.
Yeah, that makes total sense.
Mhm.
Are you still doing any coaching?
We have not done coaching in such a long time. It's how we started. I
Yeah.
mean, we had Bowmar Fitness. We did one-on-one coaching, and then we went to more like a subscription-based website so that we could lower the price for a lot of people because it was like do the work once and then charge people. And then once we moved and had the kids, it was just like there's just literally no time in the day, and not the time that like I would want to be able to like dedicate
Right.
to someone if I was coaching them. But yeah, no anymore now. We've talked about like maybe getting back into it, maybe hiring a team to like we oversee it and then they can coach people. But it's just like it's very time consuming. It's
Oh
very time
gosh. You guys have
consuming.
enough going on.
Yeah, yeah. I do really love coaching, and like if one of my friends or something were to ask me to do it for them, I would do it for them. But
Yeah.
and that is one of my number one things. I'm like, if I could buy 100 hours in the day, I would. And then I would coach everyone because like I know just how amazing of transformations we've had in the past. But yeah, I wish there was more time.
Yeah, right. There's
Mhm.
something about fitness and health that I don't know how other people feel, but like draws me and I'm just so interested in it. Have you ever read the book Thinner, Leaner, Stronger?
Oh yeah. Is it
I am
some it's somewhere in here.
I am obsessed with that book and I could just like reread it.
And then they also have bigger, leaner, stronger, the male version. I'm trying to see where it is in this. It's somewhere in here. Yes, we've read it. That one's really good. And like I said, oh, here it is.
Yeah.
It's a very good book, but it does it teaches and just I think really showcases like how strong a woman is and can be.
Yeah, absolutely.
Mhm.
Um, how do you think women's relationships with strength training have like evolved maybe since you started? Like, have you noticed that women are more into lifting weights? Because as you stated, and it's still a thing, that there's like this stigma around lifting heavy. And I'm gonna be honest, I started like getting super serious with lifting in January, end of January, and it is significant the amount of muscle I've put on my arms in that short amount of time because I've lifted heavy, like
Mhm.
heavy weights. What is your thought on that?
So I definitely feel like more women are gravitating to weight training away from, I just feel like more good influencers are promoting weight training and there's far and few between where they're like you just need to be doing cardio. You need to be doing like lightweight things. And like a lot of that I feel like is just for the clicks. And it's which is really unfortunate because so many people do like use rage bait and they use like these like, oh, tone your arm workout posts and like because they know that people are gonna click on it when in reality that's not what happens. But I definitely think there's been a shift because so many of the people that I follow specifically, all of them weight train, all of them like you can't like I said, you can't fake muscles. And so I think so many women seeing like these girls freaking, glute glute bridging 600-700 pounds and it's like okay like that's freaking impressive and it's very motivating and just yeah the industry has definitely shifted to be more like that wellness figure-esque instead of just like super 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 rail thin where
Yeah.
like a size 2 is like big.
Yeah, I agree. As a nutritionist, how do you help people like differentiate between like a trend versus sustainable like choices?
Yeah, I think it's all about just like just explaining the foundational education of like a calorie deficit. If you regardless if you're doing keto or carnivore or fasting or, whatever you're falling into, at the end of the day, whole food is best and it's numbers in versus numbers out. Calorie deficit is going to make you lose weight. Maintenance is going to make you stay the same. A calorie surplus, you're going to bulk, you're going to gain. And at the end of the day, regardless of what makes that up, now a diet of all carbs versus a diet of balanced carbs, fats, and proteins, your body composition is going to look much different. You're going to recover differently. But yeah, I mean, I feel like for us, we don't really fall into like the quick, like, oh, this is a fad thing. So we're gonna try it and we're gonna post about it. Like we've always just kind of stayed true to ourselves and like prioritize whole foods, fill the gaps with supplements. And at the end of the day, it's a numbers game and I think a lot of people like they want that quick fix and so they're like drawn to these like I'm going to do animal based or carnivore or x y and z and it's like if that works for your lifestyle great.
Right.
Way too restrictive for most people and I always tell people I'm like don't major in minor things like you don't need to be focused on the 2%. Let's worry about the 98%. And then once you've mastered that, then we can kind of finite, then we can carb cycle, then we can try the fasting, then we can try manipulating the calories in a way. But like you have to have the 98% before you can start doing the 2%.
Yeah. That's a great way to look at it.
Yeah.
And I also love when people say like, let's talk about like what you can add versus what we're going to take away when you like go into like a diet or like a new plan or whatever. Like, what can we add to your routine versus like remove?
No, it's parenting 101. Like if I tell my kids like don't jump off that, they're going to jump off of it. But if you tell them what they can do, like please get down safely, that's what they do. And so it's what you can do versus what you can't and just have that like positive shift of like, oh, well I don't get this anymore. No, but we're going to fill it with this and then you're going to feel better and then it's going to bleed into like every other area of your life. Like it's just going to make everything that much easier.
Right, right.
Mhm.
How do you stay consistent?
I feel like obviously seeing results is going to be huge, right? Like
Yeah.
if you're not seeing results, being consistent, you're going to drive yourself crazy because why would you continue to do something if you're not seeing results from it? So I think finding a routine you love, finding something that's going to excite you and challenge you. It's why I've fallen in love with Pilates over the last 2 years because every class is different and it's helped me in the weight room. It's helped my flexibility. Like it's helped in so many different ways. And it makes me excited because one, it's I think 24/7. So when I walk into that classroom and I'm on the reformer, if I'm on the mat and I'm like, oh, for the next hour, I don't have to think. I don't have to come up with this workout. I just listen and I do, and I shut my brain off. It's so nice. And your body just starts to crave like whatever it is, whether you are walking for 30 minutes and that's when you get to scroll TikTok, or you're on the Stairmaster and that's the time that you get to watch your show. Like when you have that like positive neuro association to whatever it is that you are doing, it just makes you so much more consistent and just like really holding yourself accountable and like having the discipline but also the respect for yourself of like if I say I'm going to do this and then I don't, like how disrespectful is that to me? And so it's anymore now like I have to work out. Like I become so stir crazy if I have access to a gym and I can't work out. Now, when we're in Africa, it's nice because it's like, oh, okay, a full 6 week break, perfect. But if there was a gym at the lodge next door, I'm going to the lodge or like I'm gonna do some sort of weight training. But I think your body just starts to you crave that like I want to get stronger. I want to see more results. I now that I've worked on the 98%, now I can like manipulate and do these fun things to where I can try things on my body. And so it's always I think it's just that evolution too of figuring out me like when I first started, I did spin class like almost every day because I was getting ready for shows and it was barely weight training. And to just like see and like fall in love with bodybuilding and Pilates and like the recovery side of things. Like it's just been that's what's so cool about bodybuilding is like you get to build the body you want and it doesn't have to look like anyone else's. Like you if you don't want shoulders at all, don't lift shoulders.
Right.
Who cares? If you want the world's biggest calves, love that for you. Do that. Like if that's what gets you to the gym or gets you working out, like do it. I love it. So yeah, I think consistency, it literally just comes from seeing results and just keeping yourself accountable.
Hmm. Love it. Any words of wisdom for the girls who are just like always feeling run down? Like, is there a product you suggest taking, which everyone knows you're not a doctor, but like anything you suggest, like for girls who just wake up and they're tired?
So yes, and I will have, I don't know when you're going to air this podcast, but I'm hoping by that time we might have a solution for people.
Oh,
Yes. So a hormone replacement therapy is something that I have talked about for over 2 years because I've been on it for over 2 years. And it's one of those things where, like I said, I wish I had a solution for everyone because not all HRT clinics are created equal. And you can't go to your OB because they're not hormone specialists and hormones
right.
are a specialty. So I'm hoping that if people are like, oh, this is me, give me some time, possibly by like July, we'll have a solution for literally everyone. So HRT is going to be the number one thing. Like hormones, everything in our lives is destroying our endocrine system.
Yeah.
Everything. Fragrances, makeup, cleaning products, even down to like the fabric of our clothes, what's sprayed in the air, what's sprayed on our food, what's in our water. Everything is destroying our hormones. And it's the fact that we were on birth control at, 15 years old.
Yeah.
So if and I know hormones scare a lot of women. However, we all, men and women, produce the same three sex hormones. Their percentages are just different than our percentages and our ratios. And so, if someone, especially women, are feeling run down, brain fog, skin is freaking out, hair is falling out, no libido, can't lose weight, losing muscle, cravings are through the roof, um, not happy, not excited about anything, angry all the time, looking to your spouse to fight, angry mom, angry parent, like all of these things, like it screams low testosterone and high estrogen. And it's something to where even if you feel okay, it's never a bad idea to go and get a full hormone panel. Just, I wish I had one done at 21. I wish I had one done at 25. That way in my head, I could go, oh, I remember what I felt like at 25. Let's look back at my labs because that's what my numbers were. Okay, now my numbers are this. No wonder I'm feeling like this. So even if you feel okay, I recommend a hormone panel. But for the most part, it's hormones. And it stinks because it's something that like is so taboo to so many women, and I don't understand why. And it's something that I'm, if not the most passionate about, just because like I know how much it helped me
Mhm.
and relationship with Josh and our marriage, and how much calmer of a mom I am, and just literally improved every facet of my life. Like if I could put people in my body from August 2022 to my body now, and just like one, you can see the difference, but two, to feel the difference, everyone would be at a hormone clinic tomorrow to get like a
Oh,
hormone.
I'm already on my way. I'm already
Yeah,
on my way.
but it's something that's like, it's just not talked about like enough. And it's something that I'm like, okay, I have a platform. I really just want to help women, obviously help men too, but just like help women like feel like we don't have to feel like just so tired and beat down. And like when I before I went in, I literally felt like I was living up here and like watching myself live my life. Like I didn't even feel like connected in my own body. Like I felt like a shell of a person. I'm like, this is like for what? For the next 55, 60 years I'm meant to live and feel like this? I'm like, there's absolutely no way. And when I went in and got my blood drawn and had my panel done, they're like, oh, well, your testosterone is 3 times lower than what we want you at for the bare minimum. Like
Oh,
your toddler son has more testosterone than you do. Like no wonder they were literally shocked I had as much muscle as I did, because they're like, you have virtually no testosterone. I'm like, okay, well, at least now I have like an answer and a solution, and I like have like light at the end of the tunnel. But yeah, it, like I said, it's made a world of difference. But so I would say like hormone panel number one for women if you are, if you're tired in the morning. But like caffeine abuse is huge too.
mhm.
A lot of women specifically like abuse caffeine and then they can't fall asleep at night. Um, and then I would say just like doing a lot of inner work and healing. I feel like a lot of people like they have so much like going on during the day and they don't know how to like properly like unwind or like trauma dump or like come down from that. And so like at the end of the day, they're just like doom scrolling to just like find any sort of like happiness or like entertainment or something. And then before you know it, it's 1 in the morning. And then this cycle repeats itself. And so I feel like a lot of people's issues are a lot deeper than just, oh, you need to sleep more. Like, okay, yeah, no kidding. But like doing, I feel like just doing that inner work and really like becoming a parent has forced me to, like, my entire bookshelf over here is like all parenting books. And a lot of them are just like healing my own inner child and realizing like, oh, that's why I am the way that I am. Okay, note to self, we're not doing that with the kids, because like now I've had to like unwind and undo 36 years of me because of like childhood or parenting,
Mhm.
whatever. And so it's been very interesting to like learn myself, reparent myself, heal my inner child, raise these kids, like do all this stuff. But like I truly like feel like the best version of me like today right now because of just all the things.
Yeah. Got to put in the work too, right? Like
Mhm.
take time for yourself. It is important to get your labs drawn. I I have been meaning to do it for so long, and I feel like the sad piece is I'm not gonna say what hospital I go to or where I'm seen, but they won't draw it.
Yeah.
They won't draw my typical like hormone panel. And so I'll have to go to a functional medicine provider, and that's out of pocket, right? Like, and I mean, yes, I could do it and that's fine, but that's something that holds people back, right? To like have it done because it's out of pocket. Then you
Yep.
know, it's not just that one test, then it's like the follow-up tests and all those things. And it sucks. Like, it sucks being a woman already. Like, now you're gonna not draw my hormones unless it's, insurance doesn't cover those things.
Right. No, it's ridiculous. And it's a pain point that like so many people have with, and it stinks because like you said, like it's hard enough. Like we should at least like have some sort of care or like priority with this stuff, but we just
Right.
don't. Hopefully that changes in the future. But
Yeah.
yeah, it truly has like made the biggest difference for me.
Yeah, I love that for you.
Mhm.
What's just briefly, what's your current fitness routine? Because I know you're training for something, right?
So we're kind of toying around with possibly getting back on stage. So when we both competed last, I competed in bikini, and then Josh competed in men's physique and turned pro in men's physique. But now he wants to move up to classic, and I want to move up to wellness. So we'll see if we get back on stage. But I train 7 days a week. I know that's a lot for some people, but it's a lot for most people. But we take very extended rest weeks and months when we travel and do these big trips and stuff. But Monday, Wednesday, Friday, I do Pilates. Um, and then I lift back on Monday, legs on Tuesday, shoulders on Wednesday, triceps and quads Thursday, biceps on Friday, legs again on Saturday, and then Sunday's like kind of an all upper day minus back. And it's what works for me. It's what keeps
Yeah.
me sane. It's what I love and enjoy doing. Like I said, for most people, yes, way overtraining, way too much, way overkill. But for me, it keeps everything kosher.
Yeah. What are you doing to recover? Like, especially when it's just like a 24-hour time span.
So much. Recovery has become, no, really, like recovery has become such a passion of mine over the
Yeah.
last, let's say, like year. So in the morning, and all of this is like, we're very blessed because we have so much of the stuff at the house. So I get to do all of it either before the kids wake up or after they go down. So 20 minutes of red light every single morning. That's like an absolute non-negotiable. And then while doing the red, I'm also a time compounder. So like if I'm doing one thing, I'm also doing five other things at the same time. So I do my power plate at the same time. So my power plate is set up in front of my red light. So I'm able to do that for 9 minutes. And then the other 11 minutes, I'm doing Theragun work. So I'm like, okay, well, at least I'm doing 2 to 3 things at one time during my red light. And then for about 15-ish minutes a day, I'm stretching at least during my workouts. And then I get body work done once a week. Um, and then 4 to 5 times a week doing our infrared sauna, which we have at the house, thank goodness, after the kids go down. And then we also have a cold plunge, which I haven't done in a long time and I really probably should, but it's the most torturous thing in the world. Like
That's one of my questions, Sarah. I was gonna say, I don't think I've ever seen you cold plunge. Like you've never posted about it. And I'm like, does she do cold therapy?
it's horrific. I look like such a baby when I do it. Like I'm not like a tough girl. So I'm like, there's no way I'm like post it like freaking out and shivering. But then we have a bunch of stuff. Like we have like our compression boots. We have the red light masks. I have my red light right here. We have the shift wave chair. Like it all kind of just depends on like the schedule for that day. We just got these things that um vibrate your vagus nerve, and
Yeah.
those, oh my gosh, world of difference. Like insane. I sleep so much better when I do that. A bunch of just, like I said, like at home, like stuff from Therabody, like the Theragun, the face thing, all the red light. We also have a PEMF mat that we do. When for our birthdays, we went down and did like a biohacking 3-day retreat. We have a salt chamber in the infrared sauna. Josh wants to get a hyperbaric chamber. So like recovery for us is like it's next level because that's
Yeah.
really what slows and reverses aging is like
Yeah.
that recovery, like all that, just like especially red light and especially the infrared sauna. Like world of difference. I cannot talk enough about HRT and red light because it's amazing.
Yeah. Thought it just brings that inflammation down. I know. Yeah. That's a big one. Any products you're taking like for recovery, like anything?
Um, so I mean, I do aminos. Glutamine helps a little bit. Obviously, supplementing with protein. I take creatine. That's huge,
Mhm.
obviously for working out, but also for recovery. A lot of electrolytes, and then just never lifting a sore muscle. I don't really get sore often anymore, but I think it's because I'm beating myself up with Theragun, beating myself up with the power plate, doing body work and massage work once a week. And so just like really staying ahead of
Mhm.
sore muscles and like any sore or like pressure points or that kind of thing is huge.
Mhm. Yeah, for sure.
Mhm.
Um, okay, you kind of mentioned it already, but Pilates
Yes.
basically changed your life, right?
The thing in the world.
Tell us
Yes.
more because I feel like all women hear like Pilates and now it's like I don't want to say a fad, but like there are a lot of Pilates
Yes.
like places around. Tell us more about it. Why do you love it?
Yeah. So after I had Dean, so he was born March 2022. I was also the time I fell in love with HRT, but I was dieting harder than when I was competing. My core was just like not coming back together like it did after Oakley. And I gained 28 pounds with both of them. Pregnancy's almost identical. But for some reason, and I had pregnancy, they're only a year and a half apart. So like I think that was part of it. But my core was just not coming back together. And I'm insane. And I went to a plastic surgeon. I'm like, you have to sew me back together. And he literally looked at me and he's like, you have an after body. Like, no, like you have the body that like we sculpt people to have. And I'm like, I don't care about those people. I need my core zipped back together. He's
Yeah.
like, I'm not doing that. I'm like, okay. I'm glad he didn't because I'm like, okay, well now I need to figure this out on my own. So I was also going to pelvic floor physio at the time. And she's like, you need to find a Pilates instructor because they're going to be able to hopefully like work on your TVA, work on your breath work on all this stuff. And so obviously men can also get diastasis. So it's not just from pregnant women. Like a lot of women unfortunately walk around with it. But I went to the Pilates instructor at the gym and I'm like, I need help, like desperately. Like my core is just loose and I just feel like it's like very weak and unengaged and it's not turned on. And she's like, okay, well, we need to do some private sessions before you can even think about joining Pilates, like the class. I'm like, no, that's fine. So I did 10 privates with her. And my first appointment or whatever, she's like, you're breathing wrong. And I'm like, oh, okay. So that's where we're starting. I'm like, the thing I do 10,000 times a day, I'm doing it wrong. Wonderful. So it was a long, like 3 months of like vigorous, like reconnecting the core, just that like obviously I've been weightlifting for a long time, but completely doing everything wrong, like overly engaging my pelvic floor, couldn't relax anything. Hip flexors were all out of whack. My scoliosis wasn't helping. The pregnancies didn't help. Like it was just like a dumpster fire of like all these problems coming together. And once she, essentially fixed the connection because it did take about a year and a half for the gap to close from my diastasis. But that's originally why I started. So I'm like, I just need to fix this core. I can't do this on my own. I need an instructor. She's like, well, you can come to Reformer and like it's small group. Like I think there's 8 reformers in there. So she's like, I
Mhm.
can correct form. Like obviously it's not gonna be one-on-one, but I can at least help you a little bit in class. And so I started with, one day every few weeks, which turned into one day a week, which turned into two, which now turned into three, which now turned into I have a reformer at the house. I have a chair downstairs, and I want to get Pilates certified once the kids are a little bit older, just to like selfishly have the education for
Yeah.
myself. But I've absolutely fallen in love with it. Like I tell everyone, like, if you have any access to like, and obviously not all Pilates instructors are created equal, but mine is phenomenal. And I do 2 days of reformer and then one day of mat Pilates, which is so convenient because it's stuff that you can do anywhere. And that's what I really like to share on social media is like those, like the mat Pilates movements that people can do with essentially just a body weight or a Pilates ball, because like I said, I mean, I have an 8-pack now and there's no reason for it other than Pilates. Like I've had 2 kids, I'm 36, and most days have an 8-pack, but all the days have a 6-pack. And I'm like, this is ridiculous. But like all of my lifts have improved, like like I said, posture, flexibility. My scoliosis is almost non-existent now. Like there's been
Oh,
so many amazing benefits to Pilates. Like it, every woman who's messaged me, like I tried Pilates because either like I've never felt my core muscles that way. I've never like seen muscles like that pop. I'm like, it's life changing.
do you think you need the reformer to like to see the change, or do you think it's okay to just do like Pilates classes at home kind of thing?
I think mat Pilates honestly is, I wouldn't say more beneficial. Like it's hard to say which one has really like made the biggest transformation for me. However, I can't do the reformer unless I have the reformer. So that's the unfortunate part is like, okay, it's amazing. Like, especially with a good instructor who's giving good cues and has like a really nice flow. But the mat stuff, I talk to my instructor about this all the time. I'm like, I love reformer, but like there's something about Matt. She's like, no, like Matt is so humbling. It's just so many reps and you can do it anywhere. And I feel like it's way less intimidating. So I think it's more of a mental thing too of like, oh, it's just a Pilates ball. Like so then you can actually like focus on your core, focus on those muscles instead of like, is this crazy contraption reformer like or the is the spring on right? And is this gonna snap? Is this am I doing this right? Who's watching me? Where Matt is like, it's pitch black, no one can see anyone. But no, I cannot say enough good things about like finding even at home Pilates, like on YouTube or TikTok or anything. Like it can make such a difference.
Yeah, add it to your routine, ladies.
Mhm.
Okay, we're at time. Do you have more time or do you want me to go into my last like final stuff?
Oh, I have time. I'm good.
Okay, you stop me if you seriously need to go. Okay, so you and Josh started Bowmar Nutrition, and I think it's a huge part of who the two of you are and what you stand for, and I think it's important to talk about it. So tell us tell us about the company and why you started it.
Yeah. So we started Bowmar Nutrition in January of 2018. Yes, January 2018. And the whole reason we started it, and we were only ever going to have one product, was because like a year and a half prior to that, Josh walked in on me on the kid in the kitchen. He's like, "What are you doing?" And I was like trying to like mix hot water with like protein powder because I wanted hot chocolate, but I was also dieting for something. And I don't drink my calories. So I'm like, I'm not gonna
Yeah.
have 30 grams of sugar in hot chocolate just because I'm craving it. And he's like, "Well, we can make that into a business." I'm like, "That's a really stupid idea." Like I literally said that to him. I'm like, "Why would anyone buy protein hot chocolate?" He's like, "Because it's what you're doing." And I'm like, "Well, if you want to run with it, then go for it. But like, I want no part in this dumbass idea. Like, this is so stupid because anyone can just do what I'm doing."
Yeah.
Well, come to find out, no, because you have to have the right protein blend, you have to have the right source. Certain protein powder can't be heated or else it starts to like coagulate and then you lose some of that protein. And so it was a very like scientific process to like perfect protein hot chocolate. And at the time, like I said, we were literally the website. If you go to bowmarnutrition.com, it defaults to proteinhotchocolate.com and then comes back to bowmarnutrition.com because it was literally our only product. And just the sheer amount, because we are our own best customers. And for us, it's like prior to that, how many different protein powders have we tried? Dozens and dozens. And you try one and you're like, I'll finish the tub because I bought it, but like I
Yeah.
don't need it. I'm not going to buy it again. I'm going to go to something else. And that was us. And that was us with every supplement. It was never like, I need that pre workout. I need that flavor. I need that brand. It was what's on sale at the supplement store. What have I haven't tried yet? But then we would never buy it again. Like we were never repeat customers of anything. And so when we launched Protein Hot Chocolate, just the amount of people, like we bought enough, what we thought we had enough inventory for 8 weeks and we sold out in 6 days. And I'm like, oh fuck, like that's a problem. Um, and then when we brought it back in stock, we just started getting customer reviews and people are like, well, what's next? And I'm like, nothing is next. This was it. This was the product. Like there's nothing coming. I'm like, no, like this is the greatest protein powder I've ever tried. Like this is the first time I've ever bought like a second tub of anything. And I'm like, well, yeah, it's really good because like so many of these supplement companies, like the owners might work out, but they might not. And so they're not their own best customers. Where for us, it's like, oh, well, if we're going to make it, then let's make it the best it can be. And we're not just going to settle for like the first thing. We're going to fly it onto the manufacturer. We're going to sit there 4 days and test these flavors and perfect it and see how far we can push it. And oh, that's too far. The flavor's not good, blah, blah, blah. 7 years later, we've launched over 150 different products, a ton of different flavors, things that like we never thought we would ever launch because like when I was a vegan, I used to use vegan protein powder and it tastes like the redwood forest. But then when we launched ours, like the amount of people like, I'm not even a vegan and this is so good. Like, how did you guys do this? I'm like, we sat there for 3 days to perfect one flavor. Like that's, we are our own best customer. And so now we get to work with some of the best formulators and I can bring products to them and say like we want to do this, we want to do that, like let's make the best formula. And because we're direct to consumer, we get to use the highest quality ingredients because we don't have that storefront, we don't have that middleman, and so we get to charge the same prices with the same, or with better quality products because
Yeah.
we don't have to worry about like selling into GNC or Vitamin Shop or whatever. And so, but yeah, like I said, now our kids use the stuff too. So it's like even more motivation for us to have like the cleanest products, the best formulas, the highest quality everything. And it's been really cool to like see so many visions come to life and like just all the reviews that we've received over the last 7 years from people. Like I think we're almost also at like 2 million orders, and it's mind blowing.
Mind blowing, but it's a good product and that's why.
Yeah.
You guys don't only launch products, you have an entire lifestyle that you share with the world. What do you believe makes like a brand more than just a business?
I think if you are the face, you just have to be like authentically yourself, like unapologetically. Like if you try to fit into so many different people's buckets and boxes, like you really kind of lose yourself. And for me, I'm like, I've tamed myself. Like I'm very mild compared to like the things I actually want to post. But I'm like, the last thing I want to do is like offend someone like intentionally. And so I'm always just trying to put myself in other people's shoes and really just like not cause drama or anything, but just like share me and share who I am in a way that's like, hey, yeah, I might be a little too much for some people, but like what I want is for the people that love me to like love me. I don't need 10 million people to like kind of like me. I'd rather have I'm a four quarters person over 100 pennies. And so I think in order to have a successful brand, like you have to put yourself out there. You have to be vulnerable. You have to relate to people. I mean, but if you're also going to be selling things, then you need to be an expert in that field. You need to be continuing education. You need to be, just essentially sharing like all that goes into making the products, what they do, the benefits, and being being your own best customer is number one.
This is an important question to me. You run multiple companies with Josh. You
Mhm.
do a lot with Josh. You both are home all the time. Can you please tell us what your secret is to making that kind of partnership work? Both, like, I mean, do you get sick of him? Like, tell us more.
Honestly, no, like I'm gonna beat a dead horse, but since getting on HRT and like really almost having like a complete like shift in our marriage, like we are not that we weren't always best friends, but like now it's insane how strong our marriage is, how connected we are, and just like I really do feel like our souls are entwined. Like as
Oh.
corny and as cheesy as that sounds, like he is my person, I am his person. And so for us, it's a balancing act, right? Especially right now. Like and it's about having that just like that mutual understanding of like today he was on calls from 11:30 to literally 7:30, and I'm like, just like house is clean, kids are already down, I've got my thing, you just go eat, decompress, don't worry about me. And so I really feel like it's just like knowing your partner, knowing what their needs are, and just doing the best that you can to like meet those and go above and beyond for them. Because they are like, it's you guys versus the world, and that's something that we've been hit in the face with so many just bullshit things that we've had to go through together, like stuff that most people would crumble under. And for us, it's like, I do feel like too, because we're both on social media, we both understand. It's not like I'm a nurse and he's on social media and we're trying to like relate and be like, oh, you had a mean comment. Like, cool.
Right.
Like I'm trying to relate over here, but like, whatever. So I obviously like that helps tremendously. Like we can really relate, we can understand one another, and we're truly like each other's best friend, biggest cheerleader. And I just think like being on the same page, having the same goals, aspirations, and but also taking time for yourself, like for you and your spouse, like away from business, away from the kids, because at the end of the day, like you're eventually going to retire, kids are eventually going to grow up and move out and move on. And so like just, having that like foundational relationship like helps in all areas of life.
Yeah, for
Mhm.
sure. Every woman is now running to
Today.
get HRT. If they weren't already from our previous questions and answers, they're
Right.
going. Okay. How you have two adorable kids. And
Mhm.
Sarah, you are such a good mom, and I'm not just saying that. I don't think I've I send so many of your stories to my husband. We don't have kids. We
Yeah.
we originally didn't plan to have kids. We right
Mhm.
now still are not planning to have kids, but maybe in the future there will
Yeah.
be a shift in the stars and we may decide to. But you make me want to have children because
Yeah.
you are literally living this little farm life that I can't get over. Your kids are just like you let them be kids. You let them be
Mhm.
kids. And I think maybe that's why I'm so obsessed is because I was allowed to be a kid at one point in
Mhm.
my life and I obviously you just assume growing up that way that that's how kids are brought up and it's not, especially
Right.
now today. And like you do
Mhm.
such a good job at just letting them be dirty and do what they want and crack the eggs and eggshells are in the bowl and like just stuff like that and you don't even you just brush it off like I don't
Yeah.
know. I'm just so impressed and do you have anything to share? I'm obviously not a mom, but for the moms out there who are like, "Oh my God, my kids stress me out," or, how to kind of live that like at home farm life.
Yeah, for sure. And I appreciate that. Like of all the hats I wear, like being a mom is like one of the greatest accomplishments. I would say I'm again gonna beat a dead horse. I don't remember what kind of mom I was when I was just Oakley. Like obviously the dynamic was much different. It was just her. But then after Dean, I don't remember the first like 6 months of his life just because I was going through so much postpartum anxiety, postpartum depression. But once I got on HRT, I can now like Josh could literally call me and tell me the house is on fire and be like, as long as everyone's out and the dog's fine and the kids are safe, like we're good. It's just that like level headedness. And so I do feel like that has helped me just be like a very calm mom, don't really react to a lot, but to the amount of parenting books and podcasts that I've read. I have a blog on all the parenting books that I recommend because like I do truly feel like so much of like who we are is shaped in our childhood. And like I said earlier, I've had to like heal my inner child, unzip and unpack a lot of things that like I've suppressed and I didn't realize. And then I'm reading these books and it's like, oh, well, if you do this, this will happen. And I'm like, oh, ding, ding, ding. That's why I have the anxiety that I do
Mhm.
and why I'm such a people pleaser and an overachiever and all the things. And so for me, I want to be the best parent because I feel like our children are just like a true reflection of us. And I feel like they can change the world with so many things. Like they're the sweetest kids. Like everyone, like even the women at the gym, they're like, oh my gosh, like the at daycare at the gym. And they're like, they're just, like, the sweetest kids, they're so respectful, but, like, they're not, like, pushovers, they're very just, like, well-rounded kids, and they're like, it's so rare to see, like, a child actually, like, have a conversation with an adult, hold eye contact, say please, say thank you, do all of these things, and I feel like the number one recommendation for moms, I would say, is Dr. Becky. She's incredible. She's on Instagram. Her podcast is called Good Inside. Her book is called Good Inside. And she's just, whenever I listen to her podcast, because I do try to do it without the kids, because I'm like, I just need to like internalize this, digest it, whatever. And there are times, I mean, I had to stop reading her book a few times because I'm like, okay, this is like bringing up a lot of stuff for me, but it's things that like I never would have healed, without having kids and like being forced to do that. And so a few times I've had to pause her podcast and be like, okay, I know she's talking about parenting, but like I feel like this is like a free therapy session for me and just like really like internalizing it and like absorbing it and like putting it into practice. And I know a lot of people like dog on TikTok or whatever, but like if you can find the right parenting accounts on TikTok, oh my gosh, world of difference. Like I would not be the parent I am today without the books and the podcasts and social media. Like there's no way. And so I feel like it's a necessary evil, but there's so many amazing creators out there that have helped me specifically with parenting of like, okay, I see them letting their kids bake with them. Yeah, it looks a little messy, but I can do it. We can do this. And like just learning and cultivating and all of like the tips and tricks that people share and the books that are shared and podcasts and stuff. And it's incredible, like to just really like relinquish control and like the amount of women that message me like because of you sharing like letting your kids get dirty and play in the things and like just not intentionally make messes, but like messes happen. Let's clean them up. We don't need to have a big reaction over a mess. They're like, I've changed how I parent, and my child is now calmer, and we all have less anxiety in the house. I'm like, it's so cool to be able to like really just like be the vessel of like, okay, I read all these books. Now I get to post and share what I do with my kids and to just help other people. And it really makes you just so like conscious and aware of how you're parenting, how intentional you are showing up, and just like I said, they're just a reflection of how you like. They can't have a calm kid in a stressed environment. It's like, okay, I
Right.
just need to have, yes, do I lose my cool sometimes? Yes, but
But
for
you're
the
still
most
human.
yes, for sure. And they need to see those emotions too, because then they get to see you apologize for the emotions, and you can have that dynamic. But yeah, they're the best. They're the best. So
Yeah, they are so cute.
mhm.
So cute. Okay, some fun rapid fire
Yeah.
questions, and then I promise we're done. Um, number one fitness tip for the girlies.
Oh, number one fitness tip. Don't be afraid of protein.
Mm.
Like it can help so much with your body composition. It'll help decrease cravings. It will help gain muscle, help recovery, just completely recomp your body. It will not make you bulky. I've been trying to get bulky since 2012. Like it just does not happen overnight. I promise.
Number one product from Bowmar Nutrition and why, and just give us one, like your favorite one.
Mm, probably our oyster pills because they were designed for women's sexual health benefits. And I feel like that's a huge key to marriage. It's the only relationship that we have where separates us from friendship is
Mhm.
the sexual aspect of marriage, the intimacy. And oyster pills also help with immune support and natural energy. So it's just an amazing formula, and one that like if I was on a deserted island, that's the one where to be like, ooh, those oyster pills right now. they make they make a world of difference. Like I'm a true believer in like sex fixing like 90% of problems in all marriages and all relationships.
Yeah, yeah,
So
yeah. So what do
mhm.
they, love the science behind things. So what do they do exactly to help with that?
So oysters are a natural aphrodisiac, and they're full of zinc, copper, B12, iron, all kinds of amazing micronutrients. And so our oyster, and who wants to eat a dozen oysters a
Yeah.
day? Like expensive one, but two, like, no, thank you. So it's freeze dried oyster meat in the pills, but then it's also a formula of a few different amino acids. So there's one amino acid in particular that helps with blood flow. So it can bring more blood to the your private areas, and so your intercourse is going to be better, orgasms are going to be stronger, libido is going to be higher. Like the formula was designed, men can take it too, but the formula was designed specifically for women. And it also can help with like bad period cramps, heavy bleeding. Like it's a true women's sexual health product with the added benefits of the natural energy from the B12, the immune support. It's an all-encompassing formula. It's one that I'm like the most proud about, and the amount of reviews, like I can't share them all because some of them are so raunchy. I'm like, oh my God, like you sent this to a stranger on the internet, but okay, here we go. But the ones I've shared, and then the ones like is obviously like people at our gym. Like this one guy, Brian, comes up to me all the time, like, Sarah, I can't thank you enough. Me and my wife, and I'm like, say no more, Brian. I'm just doing the Lord's work. I'm like, I got it. He's like, oh man, I gotta get some more bottles. I'm like, it's really cool to like obviously make great tasting protein and things like that, but like to have products that are like, this has helped my marriage, this has helped me as a woman, like it's so cool to see.
Yeah. I'm going to be counting down the days until July when your next product comes out, I think. Yeah, I think it's cool too. Once again, being a supplement company, you think about like, I mean, how many supplement companies have oyster pills? Like, you know what I mean? Like, you really thought outside of the box and like
Yeah,
had, I mean, I'm sure there are supplement companies who have that, but obviously, but like, just you're thinking of the girls, and that's good.
for sure.
What is your guilty pleasure food?
Oof, donuts probably. I love a good donut, like a good thick cake donut. It's really hard to beat.
You will never see me pass up a donut.
Right? Exactly. That's that's the problem. Donut, and I love wedding cake. Love wedding cake. but it's such a
Really?
rarity to get, you know? So I always am like sneaking like extra pieces.
Oh
So
my gosh. Love
yeah.
that. I feel like you might be maybe one of the only humans who loves wedding cake. I feel like people are like, oh, it's
Oh
just
no.
wedding cake.
Oh no. I don't think, well, maybe because we died so hard and it's like a little treat for us. I don't know.
Maybe.
But yeah.
I mean, the question is one product you can't live without. I'm guessing oyster pills. Is
Yeah.
there another one?
Collagen, really. I mean,
Sure.
it's such an amazing product and can help with like everything in the human body. It's
Yeah.
amazing.
Early riser or night owl?
Now with the kids, I'm forced to be an early riser. But again, with HRT, I only need like 6 hours of sleep. So it's kind of nice. I get like the best of both worlds. I go to bed at 11 and get up at 6 and like still get my kids go to bed early. They dropped their naps when they were 18 months old. So like I get a solid 5 hours at night without them and then about an hour in the morning. So it's like it's the perfect like combination of both.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Love that for you. You don't watch much TV, do you?
Not like TV, like I'll watch Netflix and that kind of stuff, but nothing that's like actively on TV.
Okay, a recent show you've loved on Netflix?
I'm watching Brooklyn Nine-Nine right now. It's
Oh,
like my guilty pleasure, like funny comedy show. And then Suits LA. I started that like on our last trip.
I've heard that's
So
good. Yeah,
good.
I've
Mhm.
heard it's great. Okay, really quickly, tell us. Well, you kind of told us your morning routine already. Tell us your evening routine. What are you doing to like wind down?
Yeah. So if it's a sauna day, like I'll do the sauna for 30 minutes. I'll watch my show for part of the time while I'm in there, do like emails, wrap the day up with like what I need to do for the next day. If I need to check on comments, DMs, close out my emails for the day. And then I love taking a hot bath. Like I
Mm.
just love a good hot bath with like magnesium. So that's big. And I started following this content creator that I've fallen in love with on skincare. And so now my skincare routine unfortunately takes like 12 to 15 minutes a night. So I have to like book my time for that, but it's so relaxing. And she's like, you can use it as a time to just like self reflect, pray, turn your brain off, watch a show, like do more than one thing while you're doing this like very intensive skincare routine. But it's been so relaxing and so nice. And then I wear the Aura ring, and so I compete with myself every night on how fast I can fall asleep. So I don't let myself like scroll as soon as I get in bed. Like I'm like, I need a quick sleep latency because my ring is going to tell me in the morning if I fell asleep quickly or if I was wasting time in bed. So I'm very competitive with myself with it. So I'm like very regimented. I'm like, okay, I can't scroll. I need to go to bed right away.
Yeah.
And then yeah, Josh likes to sleep like it's an igloo, so it's always like 60 degrees in our room. And so just pass out almost right away.
Love
So,
that.
oh yeah.
Oh, same. I need it like cold.
Yep, that's him.
Heels or hiking boots? I know you're like a Vegas like lover. Like, are we, and also Vegas, tell us more too, just really briefly. Are you out there for work or what are you doing out in Vegas? You guys go like multiple times a year.
Go so many times. We actually got engaged in Vegas, so like we love it. And we also got almost got married out there, but it would have caused family drama. So I'm like, we're not going to do this. So we we go probably 4 times a year now. Like we love Vegas. We don't drink, we don't gamble, but we love going for the food and just love going for the shows and just like it's just a nice 70-ish hours for us to be away from the kids. Like if I'm home, I'm always laundry,
Mhm.
dishes, what needs to be done. Like it's very distracting. And so for us, like that's been a really big focus over the last like year and a half for us to just have very condensed time where it's like, okay, yes, we're still working. Yes, we still have fires to put out and things, but for the most part, it's we can lay by the pool for a few hours. We can go see a show. We can go to a very nice dinner, have like very like we went on a date on Monday and I took notes on like what I needed to talk to Josh about. So I'm like, there's just not a lot of like focused time for us at the house to like sit down and like have very deep, meaningful conversations because oh, what if a kid wakes up? What if the dog starts barking because someone's, you know, there's just a lot of distractions. And so for us, it's just one of those places where like we can just go and just be Josh and Sarah, and we don't have to worry about being, you know, mom and dad. And it's just like a very like fun place for us to go. Like I love Las Vegas. Like absolutely love it.
So would you choose heels or boots?
Oh, probably boots. Like I do like getting dressed up, but at the same time, like I'm most comfortable in like just chill clothes and
Mhm.
being outdoors. Like if I had to pick between, you know, 6 trips to Vegas or 1 trip to Africa, 1 trip to Africa all
Yeah.
day.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Last thing you added to your Amazon cart.
Oh gosh, probably something for the kids. I think like like this detangler stuff for Oakley for her curly hair. Like
Oh,
I know.
mom life hack that actually works.
Oh gosh. Just posted about making your own bubbles the other day, at home bubbles. That's a big
Yeah,
one.
I
But
saw that.
one that we've been doing recently, like the kids they fight me on bath time, but then they love it once they get in. So now that it's warm outside, I'm like, okay, well, if you guys take a bath, that means you have to get as muddy as possible. So because I think in their mind, like, well, I'm not dirty, so why do I need to take a bath? So now I'm like, okay, let's get as dirty as possible, and then we'll get in the bath. And they're like, oh yeah, we get to go in the bath because we're so dirty. So that's a good one. If your kids don't like bath, let them get dirty, and then chuck them in the bath, and they'll have a great time.
That's a great one. Okay, last one. I think that this is a hard question for you, but maybe not. If you had to choose the gym or hunting, which would you choose? You can only do one for the rest of your life. It's not a fair
Ooh,
question.
that's tough. If I could find a way to like still do some sort of resistance training like while hunting, I would pick hunting because obviously you can't hunt in the gym. But otherwise, like that is tough. I would say hunting because I feel like we could get creative in a way to like make it work outside somehow, some
Yeah,
way.
yeah, yeah, yeah. Good answer. Good
Yeah.
answer. Well, Sarah, I have taken 2 hours of your time.
Awesome.
Yeah, I so appreciate you more than you will ever know. And I hope that I have many takeaways from this. I hope everyone listening has so many takeaways as well. We're all going to go get HRT and
Well,
figure our lives out.
hopefully by July, we will have a telehealth company. So women will be able to literally tests can be sent to your house. You won't have to make a doctor's appointment. You won't have to find a clinic. You won't have to leave your house. Your prescriptions will be sent straight to you. Like it will literally be like no physical doctor visit whatsoever. It'll all be sent to you in one way or the other. And then you get to do virtual consults with the doctor that we have hired. So hopefully, we've been working on it for a while. And I'm hoping that we have finally found like the right partner, the right solution, the right everything for it because like I have like my own pain points with the HRT clinic we go to and just the amount of women who like I can't find anyone, I can't find anyone reputable and I'm like sorry, I'm like I literally only know like Des Moines, Iowa. So the only
Right.
other solution was start our own. So hopefully in by the summer, like by the middle of summer, we will have this telehealth company up and running. Fingers crossed. So
Holy shit.
yeah. So it's been such a passion project of mine
Yeah.
specifically just because like it's mind blowing like how every single facet like Josh and I were essentially roommates 2 years ago and now it's like the most like romantic relationship, friends. Like it's crazy just like that one aspect, but like how much calmer I am as a mom, like how my body has responded to weight training, how like I don't have cravings. I don't sit here and think about donuts and you know whatever now. Like I just don't. And it's so mind-blowing to me like how much I've been able to like change and improve as a person just because of a little silly shot that's like comical how small my dose is every few days. Like it's wild to me. So I'm like, I want to like shout it from the rooftops. I want to do a podcast on hormones. I want to have all of these hormone specialists and these doctors come in and talk to women about like all of the benefits during all of the stages of life. Like there's so much to talk about and cover, and like stigmas to break through and taboo to get through, that like I'm not going to do this for just to promote 100 different HRT clinics around the country. I'm like, if I'm going to do this, like I want to do it right. And I want to make sure that like it's a service that women, busy moms can't. I struggle to like go get my blood drawn at the HRT clinic that I go to. So I'm like, how nice would that be to where I could just do it at home and then my prescription gets sent to me and I don't have to go to a physical doctor. And like everyone's busy, everyone has reasons they can't make it or can't go. So like let's take all those reasons away and figure out like what's wrong. And we'll be able to test for so much more than just hormones. Like it will be thyroid, it'll be vitamin deficiency, like it'll be so many different things that essentially could be like causing issues,
Yeah.
especially in women, that we just don't get treatment for.
Right. So is it going to be like a prick of the finger?
It'll be saliva test.
Oh, saliva. Okay.
Yep, yep. So that way, and then we'll also be able to offer the option if people want to get blood, like the mobile phlebotomists that can come around to your house and stuff. If you don't want to go to like a LabCorp or something like that, like there will be multiple like options for people to do. Like if someone's like, I'll go get my blood drawn, I don't care. Okay,
Yeah.
go get your blood drawn, whatever. But like for the convenience side of things, like you can do saliva tests. It's just as accurate, which is so nice. And then you don't have to leave your house, which is amazing.
Yeah. Oh my gosh, I'm so proud of you. That's amazing.
Yeah, it's been a project. Like I remember taking notes because when you're hunting, like you just have a lot of
Right.
downtime and a lot of quiet time and you talk to yourself a lot. And so I'm like, just had this like idea. A second to last trip, we were in Africa and I have my notes from that trip. And I'm like, just listing all the pain points of like things that like OBs have said to women that message me. And like these primaries are like gaslighting these women and making them feel like they're crazy for even suggesting hormones. And it's just a TikTok fad and blah, blah. And it's like, just say you're not a specialist. Just say
Mhm.
that. You, why are you making women out to feel awful about it? So like I said, we've tried a bunch of different business partners, a bunch of different like options to like make this work, do it ourselves, get a partner, investment company, like all these things. And like it's been like one thing after the other. And it's like finally this week, I feel like we've found a solution. And I'm like, okay, now we can like kind of take like, unleash the beast essentially.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
it'll be awesome.
Oh my gosh,
Yeah.
so exciting. I
Yeah.
love that.
Yeah.
Well, thanks for sharing. Have you
Yeah.
even said that on your on your
No, no. So we haven't talked about it because we didn't know. Like if we talked about it 2 years ago, I'm like,
right?
we would have people like, when's that coming? I'm like, never, like I don't have a solution. But now, like one way or the other, this particular partner that we found like is going to work. So it's like, okay, they've been doing it for 8 years. We're essentially going to like use their services that they've like ironed out all the issues, have figured everything out. So it'd be so nice to like not be starting from like square one. Like
Yeah.
they've figured everything out. And so it's gonna be amazing.
Oh
So
my gosh.
yeah.
Yay. Good for
It'll be
you. How
yeah.
cool. And you can
Yeah.
just tell you're so passionate about it too, obviously. So it like makes it even that much more um amazing.
Right. And but it is like people like believe you when you have like the personal story and the testimony and just like
Yeah,
the passion behind whatever you're doing.
right. Yeah.
Mhm.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much, Sarah. You are a
Of course.
light. We are so lucky to have you on here and hear all about you and learn and just all the things. So, thank you for your time.
Thank you so much. I appreciate it.
Yes. Okay. Well, everyone, we'll catch you next time. This podcast is sponsored by Taylor & Co. Taylor & Co. is a mother-daughter nurse duo-owned business specializing in handcrafted, all-natural self-care products and services with an emphasis on health, wellness, and holistic healing. Their products are handcrafted in Minnesota with pure, natural, and organic ingredients. They offer wellness services such as yoga classes, Reiki healing, and more. You can find them on Instagram or online at taylorandco.boutique.